How do you deal with existential dread? Sometimes I'll just be chilling and then it feels like your heart is gonna stop. That is a twofold, actually. First off, I would try to see if there was a problem I've been putting off dealing with. Normally, I've found if I get those sudden kind of like crash down things, they're not actually unprompted. Normally, I find it's because there's something going on somewhere in my life that I'm not looking at that needs dealing with, and I have just been looking in the wrong direction. And it kind of just kept simmering and simmering and simmering until it started spilling out the pot. And that spilling out, that's the existential dread. Now, that's only one part of it. And so I'd say, how do I deal with that? Well, I'd go and put some time into that particular thing to solve it. The other part would be what sort of existential dread? Because the existential dread of entropy, for example, is not the same existential dread as one day I'm going to die, which is not the same existential dread as I wonder if everybody I know actually hates me. So figuring out what type it is could be part of it. The I'm going to die or someone I know could drop dead in front of me at any time. Okay, so that's, yeah, memento mori style existential dread. There is no real solution to that other than letting go of the illusion of control. People that have that sort of intense existential dread of death, that fear and dreading of it themselves, or it itself, is a form of them feeling like they have control over it, of thinking, well, if I'm worrying about it, then, you know, I have an impact on it. At the end of the day, it's self-satisfaction in an incredibly negative sense. Because, you know, no one really feels satisfied thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die, and so is everybody I've ever cared about. But that's what it is all the same. Now, how do we solve that? There's been a lot of discussions throughout the last couple thousand years. Every single philosophical concept ever derived of, perhaps, has been working towards that. But for a more practical application and a less theoretical Aristotelian approach, I would say focus on making the most of the time you have instead of spending your time worrying about time you might not have. Which is, of course, easier said than done, but worth doing all the same. If you spend all of your time worrying that you might not have enough time on this earth, or you might not have enough time with the people you care about because you may die or they may die, you are, not will, you are losing time that you could be spending that you're afraid of losing in the first place. And that's really all it comes down to, is there will never be a time when worrying about death will stop it, but there will always be a time when worrying about death will consume time that could have been spent on literally anything else. At the end of the day, worrying is the most non-productive activity you can possibly do. Planning, that's productive, but worry is a form of self-satisfaction that has never accomplished a single thing. And that might sound very holier than thou, perhaps, or very, you know, it's such a simple solution. It's not a simple solution, but it is the solution at the end of the day. The solution is realizing the act of worrying about death is wasting your time. And clearly you care about your time because you don't want to die and you don't want to lose the people around you. But if you spend your entire life doing that, you're not spending your life in the moment with your friends and family and all the people that you care about. Because you're so worried about what might happen tomorrow, you are definitely not seeing what's happening today. So that would be my takeaway from it, of how do I get out of that existential dread? I make the most of the day. And that is what Memento Mori was supposed to be about. For those of you who are not versed in Latin or haven't read books, Memento Mori simply means remember death, or remember you will die. And it's not supposed to be depressing. It's supposed to be a reminder to live your life, to live the day you're in. Stop waiting until tomorrow to do all these things you want to do. It's supposed to be a reminder that the time you have is limited, so make the most of it. And if you find you're spending most of your time dreading that you might die, that might be a sign that maybe you want to put some thought into how you're spending your time. Maybe your subconscious is trying to tell you, hey, you could be doing more, or maybe it's just saying, hey, I want to be doing more. And those are things that, everybody has to think about for themselves. There's no right or wrong answer to that. I hope that helps. I'm gonna check my eggs after that fun talk.